You're sitting in your car, engine off. You've been in the parking lot for 11 minutes. The meeting ended 20 minutes ago, but you can't bring yourself to drive home yet. Not because you have nowhere to go, because you just calculated something in your head that broke you. You make $200 more per year than you did 3 years ago. 3 years, multiple promotions, glowing reviews, and somehow you have less money in your account today than you did back then. Not slightly less, significantly less. Your coworker just bought a boat. Your manager is renovating their kitchen. Your college roommate who barely graduated is posting vacation photos from Greece. And you're rationing grocery trips and wondering if you can skip an oil change another month. This isn't about comparison. This is about a question that's been eating at you for months. A question you're terrified to ask out loud because it sounds ungrateful, maybe even crazy. Here it is. If I'm doing everything right, why does it feel like I'm falling behind? The answer isn't what you think, and it's not your fault. But in your chest right now, there's a weight that has nothing to do with how hard you work or how much you earn. That weight has a name. It's called the salary trap. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how it works, why it feels invisible, and why the smartest, hardest working people are the ones who fall deepest into it. This isn't about motivation. This isn't about working harder. This is about seeing a system that was designed to keep you running in place while convincing you you're climbing. Let me introduce you to Marcus. He's 37. Software engineer, makes $142,000 a year, top 10% of earners in his state. He has the career everyone said would make him comfortable, and he is comfortable. That's the problem. Marcus gets paid twice a month, $5,716 before taxes. After federal, state, Social Security, Medicare, it drops to $4,250. Still solid, still more than most people see in a month. But here's where the trap activates. The system doesn't present Marcus with a choice. It doesn't say, here's $250, build something. Instead, it does something far more elegant. It fragments his income across invisible channels before his brain can even process the total.
Mortgage, $1,950. That's nearly half gone instantly. Car payment and insurance, $680. Groceries, Target runs, eating out, $550. Daycare, $800. Utilities, phone, internet, subscriptions he forgot he signed up for, $340. Student loans that refuse to die, $420. By the time Marcus actually experiences his paycheck, he's already committed $4,740 of his $4,250. He's negative $490 before discretionary spending even starts, before gas, before the kids need new shoes, before anything breaks. And yet, Marcus doesn't feel broke. He feels busy. He has a house, 2 cars. His kids are in activities. From the outside, he's winning. That's the psychological genius of the trap. It gives you just enough visible success to stop you from asking why you're building nothing that lasts. This is the salary trap's first weapon, the illusion of wealth through busyness. When your money comes in large and leaves in small, constant pieces, your brain never registers the loss. You just register the grind. You have a lifestyle, not leverage. Now, let's talk about what keeps you locked in. This is where it gets darker. The entire structure is designed not to make you rich, but to make you dependent. Comfortable and dependent. That combination is lethal. Think about the path you were sold. Get good grades. Go to college. Maybe take on debt, but it's good debt. An investment in yourself. Find a solid job. Earn a good salary. Climb the ladder. Retire at 65 with a pension or a 401k. That story sounded safe. It sounded smart. And for the generation that sold it to you, it kind of worked. But that system died in 1987 when companies stopped offering pensions and started offering 401ks instead. They transferred risk from the company to you. And nobody told you. So you did what you were told. You got the degree. Maybe $40,000 in debt. Maybe $120,000. You landed the job. $65,000 salary. Relief. Finally, you made it. But the moment you accepted that offer, something silent happened. Your lifestyle began inflating to match your income. Not because you're reckless, because you're human. And the system is designed to exploit that. At $65,000, you can finally afford a 1-bedroom that doesn't have roaches. So you take it. $1,400 a month. You can afford a reliable car, not a beater, $350 payment. You start eating out twice a week instead of ramen every night. You buy clothes that fit. You go to weddings. You exist like a normal adult. None of this feels excessive. It feels appropriate. You earned this. Then you get promoted, $85,000. Congratulations. You worked hard. You deserve it. And immediately, the creep starts again. The one bedroom feels cramped now. You move to a two bedroom, $1,850. Your car is old. You upgrade. $520 payment. You can afford a vacation. You take one. You buy a nicer couch, better skincare, a gym membership you'll actually use. Again, none of this feels crazy. You're not buying yachts. You're just living at the level your income allows. That's the trap. You're calibrating your life to your earnings in real time, which means you never build a gap. And the gap is the only thing that creates freedom. By the time you're making $120,000, you're in a bigger place, $2,400. Nicer car, $650. Better area, private school for the kids, vacations that don't feel like punishment. You've arrived. Except you haven't. You're just running faster on the same treadmill. Here's the part that breaks people. The stress doesn't decrease. It stays exactly the same. Or it gets worse. Because now you're not just responsible for yourself. You're responsible for the lifestyle you've built. The house that requires the income. The cars that require the payments. The schools that require the tuition. You didn't intend to trap yourself, but you did. And the system knew you would. Because human beings don't see progress as getting richer. They see progress as moving up. And moving up means better, which means more expensive. This is what I call the golden handcuffs. They're polished. They're comfortable. And they lock just as tight as iron. You can't quit your job now. Not because you don't have skills. Not because you're not talented. But because your entire life structure requires that next paycheck to arrive on time, every time. Let me tell you about Elena. She worked in finance, made $175,000 a year. She was miserable, hated her boss, hated the hours. But every time she thought about leaving, panic set in. Why? Because she'd already committed to a $3,200 mortgage, 2 car leases, private school for 2 kids, a lifestyle that required every dollar she earned. One day, her company offered her a promotion, $25,000 raise. She felt relief, gratitude. She thought, finally, I can breathe. 3 weeks later, her property taxes went up. Her insurance adjusted. One of her kids needed braces, $4,500. Her car lease ended. She upgraded. The new payment was $890. Her raise evaporated. Not over years. Over weeks. And her stress level? Exactly the same as before. This is the system's cruelest trick. You're not rewarded with relief. You're rewarded with permission to keep going. The stress never breaks. It resets. And the moment you realize that a raise doesn't fix anything, you start to see the trap for what it is. This is why a person making $50,000 and a person making $250,000 can report the same levels of financial anxiety. It's not about the number. It's about the structure. And the structure is designed so that your obligations always grow faster than your income. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, even a big one, you're predictable. You can't walk away. You can't take risks. You can't start the business you think about at night. You can't invest in your own ideas. Because your money is already spoken for. Your landlord, your bank, your car company, they all have a claim on your future income. You don't. You're a guaranteed revenue stream, a subscription model for banks and lenders. And they love you for it. The more you earn, the more they can lend you. The more you borrow, the more you need to earn. It's a perfect loop for them. But here's the question nobody wants to answer honestly. If you quit your job tomorrow, how long could you survive? Not with side hustles or freelancing, just survival. Rent, food, basics. How many months? Be honest. 1 month? 2? 3 if you're lucky? Over 63% of professionals, people making good money, couldn't sustain their lifestyle for more than 60 days without a paycheck. That's not security. That's a very polite hostage situation. And the system normalizes it. It tells you this is adulthood. This is responsibility. Everyone feels this way. Just keep showing up. Just keep grinding. Retirement is only 30 years away. But here's what they don't say. Retirement is a lie for most people. The average 401k balance for someone in their 60s is around $220,000. That sounds like a lot until you realize it generates about $8,800 a year in safe withdrawal income. That's $733 a month. Good luck living on that while your medication costs more than your mortgage used to. Social Security? It's a Ponzi scheme held together by hope and the assumption that young people will keep funding it. By the time you retire, if the system even exists, it'll cover maybe half of what you need. Maybe. So the path you were sold, work hard, save in your 401k, retire comfortably, it's broken. And the people who sold you that path can't retire either. This is the part where most people get angry. At me. At the message. Because it's easier to shoot the messenger than face the truth. But anger is just fear wearing a mask. And the fear is this. What if I wasted years building the wrong thing? You didn't waste it. You just didn't know. Nobody taught you this. Not in school. Not at home. Not at work. The system benefits from your ignorance. It needs you to keep believing that the next raise, the next promotion, the next bonus will finally be enough. It won't. Because the game isn't designed for you to win. It's designed for you to keep playing. Now, here's where we pivot. This isn't about despair. This isn't about quitting your job tomorrow and living in a van. This is about awareness. And awareness changes everything. The moment you see the trap, really see it, you can't participate the same way anymore. You stop asking, how do I make more? You start asking, why does everything I make disappear? You stop asking, how do I get promoted? You start asking, how do I build something that doesn't require my constant presence? Let me be clear. Income is not bad. A salary is not evil. But income without ownership is a treadmill. And if you don't see that, you'll run until you collapse. So what do? Here's the only path that works. Not theory. Not fantasy. The actual mechanics. First, stop confusing income with wealth. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you keep. A $150,000 salary is impressive. $30,000 in investments and savings is freedom starting to grow. One stops when you stop. The other keeps going. Second, protect the gap like your life depends on it. Because it does. The gap is the space between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is sacred. It's the only mechanism that creates options. Most people let the gap close every time they get a raise. Don't. Live on last year's income. Bank the difference. Every dollar of that gap goes into assets, not upgrades. Third, redirect that gap into things that pay you back. Index funds, dividend stocks, rental properties, a side business, digital products, anything that generates money without requiring your time. The goal isn't passive income next month. The goal is to build a system where money works while you sleep. Fourth, build optionality before comfort. The moment you have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved, something shifts. You're no longer desperate. You can negotiate. You can say no. You can take risks. That buffer is psychological freedom. It's the difference between, I have to take this, and I'll think about it. Fifth, create multiple income streams while you still have the safety of a paycheck. Not to quit tomorrow, but to stop being dependent on one source. Start small. Freelance. Consult. Build. Sell. One stream at a time. The goal is redundancy. When no single paycheck controls your life, you're free. This isn't sexy. This isn't fast. This will take years. You will miss out on things your friends buy. You will feel behind. You will be tempted to upgrade every time you get a raise. Don't. The people who escape this trap aren't smarter than you. They're not luckier. They just refuse to confuse comfort with freedom. They saw the game. And they stopped playing by its rules. Warren Buffett lived in the same modest house for over 60 years while building billions. Sam Walton drove a beat-up truck while creating Walmart. They understood something most people never learn. Appearance is expensive. Freedom is quiet. If you're still with me, I want you to do something. Pause. Think about the last raise you got. Where did it go? Did it increase your freedom or your obligations? Be honest. If you can't answer that clearly, you're still in the trap. And that's okay. Awareness is the first step. You can't fix what you can't see. Comment below the one expense that grew the fastest after your last raise. No judgment, just data. Those patterns reveal everything. And if you want to keep learning how money actually works, how the system operates, and how to build real independence, subscribe. This channel breaks down the psychology of wealth, the mechanics of freedom, and the systems designed to keep you dependent. New videos every week. Each one gets you one step closer to seeing clearly. The salary trap is real. It's sophisticated, but it's not inescapable. The people who break free aren't different from you. They just decided that comfort wasn't the same as control. You have that same choice right now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.